Hello and welcome back to my channel, and I want to give a huge shout out to one of my viewers and subscribers, Allison Knopp, for requesting this video. So Allison had seen me use these sticky grid sheets, only it was on my platform for stamping and she didn't know what it was and she had questions about it, but it's just not for stamping. There are so many good uses for this, and I am going to show you what all tips and tricks you can do with these sticky grid sheets. First tip for you is with stamping. And you can take, when you take your sticky grid out of the packaging, you're going to see it comes like this. Now, if you notice on the very bottom portion, because this paper is sticky and tacky on both sides, this bottom portion right here, there's no tack on that. It's not sticky. I kind of like to keep my piece a smaller size just so I have more play with it, because this stuff is strong, but it will let loose of whatever you're stamping or whatever it's holding on to, and it doesn't leave a residue at all. So once you have your piece cut, just peel off the back and stick it down to your platform anywhere you want. It doesn't matter. And then take the top sheet and peel that off. I'm gonna finish removing these magnets because that's the whole point of having the sticky grid, is so you don't have to use the magnets. And then this is just a card base that I have, and it allows you just to stick it down. Now, if you feel like during the stamping process that this is gonna flap up on you, you can actually put a piece of sticky grid in here, just a tiny, tiny piece, just to hold it down if you need it. The cute stamp set that I'm going to be using is by Tailored Expressions. It's got the cute little grumpy bear and all the sentiments that you can put inside his little sign. So we're going to peel off the grumpy bear and just line it up wherever you want him. And because we have that sticky grid on there, there are no awful magnets on here to disrupt our stamping process. This is the ink pad that I am using, and we're just going to ink him up. And I was debating on whether or not to use the stamping platform, because I am going to switch this out to a Misty. So if you own a Misty, let me know in the comments below if you love it, like if there's anything that you don't love about it, because my birthday's coming up and a Misty has been ordered for me. So February 26th, hopefully I'll have my Misty by then, and I'm so excited to try it and use it. But let me know in the comments below how you love it. But if you pull this off, and it's okay if the sticky grid comes off too, it holds it in place while you're stamping. No magnets. It's wonderful. So this is absolutely 100% reusable until it would, lose its stick or become less tacky. But I just like to keep mine on my stamping platform, and it doesn't hurt it or anything like that. So if you have your glass mat, you can just put the sticky grid directly down on your glass mat. And I have just a regular piece of cardstock, and I'm going to stick it down on my sticky grid. This is the ink that I'm going to be using. It's just a water reactive ink and my blending brush. And if you go like this, this is kind of really irritating, because when you're trying to blend, you really need the brush to get down in there to pull the ink out. So I like to take a piece of sticky grid and stick it down, and then you can put your ink on that, and now you can just move it around without even, it's just not going to shift back and forth on you. So then we can just go in with our blender tool and just blend in our ink. This makes blending so much easier when your paper's not going all over the place, and you don't have to hold the paper down, so your hand's not going to get any fatigue trying to hold the paper down, and your fingers aren't going to get messy. So it's just so much nicer to have the sticky grid to help hold your paper down. Really helps the ink blending process go so much smoother. Like that, it just makes our ink blending so much easier. And if it happens to get stuck on the back, you can just peel it right back off and reuse it. You just want to have it on your desk because sometimes we have things on our desk that want to roll around a lot. So I have these pens and they want to move like really easy on my desk. So just even having a piece of sticky grid on there will just help it from rolling around, because if these pens, because it does have the resin on it, if they fall off into your floor, they will crack and bust. So it's just nice knowing that you can stick your pen off to the side and don't have to worry about it rolling off of your desk and breaking. I'm going to stick that right back down, because the next way I'm going to show you is how to use this with your stencils. So I have this fun harlequin-like pattern, and I have just 2 other pieces of sticky grid that I have. I'm just going to stick them down really quick because you can reuse and reuse these sheets. I think that's all I'll have to have. And then I'm just going to put this on here like so, and just push it down so it's just going to hold the edges for me. I don't think I have to have any more sticky grid on it. But because my stencil is larger than my sheet of cardstock and it comes out farther, I can just put my sticky grid right down there to hold my stencil in place. And I'm going to bring in this really fun purple color, and it's called Crushed Velvet. I'm trying to make it a little bit darker in spots just to give it a really cool effect. I'll peel it up a little bit to see what we got. Oh, that's really pretty. And then I think I'm gonna go in with Pink Tulip. So I'm gonna leave that little section of white in there because I really like the way that looks. So pretty. Beautiful background. I'm taking one of the dies from the punched frames. It is a framelit by Sizzix. I also want to mention that when using a frame or just a piece of cardstock, you can use your alphabet dies and use these grid lines to line up your word perfectly and center it on the sticky grid so that it will cut out perfectly for your card front. Just going to position that down. And I'm going to be using this butterfly die, and it actually just cuts out the edge of the butterfly. So I'm going to stick that there. So this works really well if you're going to cut things within frames. I have these cute little butterflies here, and I'm going to use the piece of cardstock that we previously inked. Put on the top cutting plate, and I'm going to run it through the machine. You see, since we used the sticky grid, none of the shapes moved and they're placed perfectly. And this would be a cute cover for a thank you card. You could just put thanks up here in the corner. But so this is the butterfly. If you're having trouble getting your dies back off the sticky grid, because I'm having trouble with my fingernails, you can just take any kind of pick or anything and just get them right off of there. Just like that, and they'll come right up. The whole point of using it is so things don't slide around, because I don't have a magnetic base or anything for the new Sizzix switch machine. So this can kind of hold my stuff down. So there's another little butterfly. These are just really super cute. But I love the punched frame die. It's so pretty. And I love that with the sticky grid, because it holds your dies in place. You can just put everything where you want it, and then it'll just pop out just like that, and it just makes a really cute card front. You can easily just use any clear plastic sleeves that you may have, that you may possibly be storing your dies in or anything like that. And you can store your sticky grid sheets on that so that the next time you go to use them, they're all protected and ready for you. And it's on there just like that. So you can just take another clear sleeve and stick it right on top, and then your sticky grid sheets are ready to go. And when you're ready to use them again, they're right there. I hope you really enjoyed today's video on how to use the sticky grid sheets, the tips and tricks that I showed you. There's so many fun ways that you can use the sticky grid, and it comes in really helpful in your craft room. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you always get notifications of my content. And don't forget to leave me a comment below. Any of you that own the Misty, please leave me a comment below and let me know if you own it, if you love it. I really want to hear from you because I'm really excited to get mine, and I'm hoping that it's everything that I think it's going to be. Thank you so much to all of you that support my channel. I absolutely cannot thank you enough, and I appreciate you so much. So that's it for today's video, and I can't wait to share more with you.